Hey guys, welcome back to the Mo Trades channel. In today's video, we're gonna go over the trades that we took yesterday. We actually had a small loss on XRP, and I wanna show you guys why I took that loss and what I could have done to prevent it for my next trade. So let's just pull it up right off the bat. So yesterday, we got to see me close my first $681 trade on the channel specifically. Obviously, I've been trading forever. And then we had that $370 win. If you guys want to see the details on that, please watch the previous video. Everything's on there, and the short shows you guys the updates throughout the day. But then at night, we took an XRP short. And what we want to do here is I want to put where you guys I started the short. And the mistake I made with the short was that I had my stop loss a little bit too tight. And you want to know what's funny? I actually ended up moving the stop loss, which is the mistake I had made. And you guys, that's normal. That happens all the time in trading. You just need to get over it and do it again and find the next position because there's unlimited opportunity in the market. So this was our entry. Okay, and originally I had our stop loss above here and then I had moved it down. So where were we for this trade? It was at 816. So we're looking at around here right before this. And then the stop loss that we had set up was actually right here. And let's color that red so we can see it and we can see how tight I had made it. Right, makes it a little bit simpler for everyone to see here. So this was the stop loss, you guys. So we entered here, right? And I made the stop loss really, really tight. Here's the thing though, I originally had it up here, which it would have been stomped out anyway. So I'm actually very glad that I took the small loss that I did. And you should feel the same way when you're trading because that risk would have been about 1.86%. The margin we were using on this bad boy, I think is $50. So at $50 at the 1.86%, we would have lost about 300 or so. So this was a way safer bet just to have it like this. And then I did miss the entry this morning. I've been working on the app, but that's okay because I'm gonna find so many more opportunities to enter within the market, and so will you, as long as you continuously actually check and try. Now here's what we do know though. The stop loss was tight, and if we had not even done the stop loss, we would have made about 5% today. And 5% at 500x of $50 is 5 times the margin times 5, right? So we would have made 250 on 1%. So 1 times 5, so we would have made about $1,000 on this trade today. And we only took a loss of 118 plus the fees. That's the best way you guys want to think about it because I'm still protected. My capital has not been sunken because I wanted to take a bigger risk and I'm chasing profits. You never want to do that in the market. You always want to take your time with your trade and be okay with getting stomped out and just find the next position, specifically if you're day trading it. Now, if you're swing trading it, you're going to want a lot bigger stop loss and a lot less leverage, right? Because in a swing trade, you're willing to leave it open in the market for a long time. Like, for example, that Solana swing trade that we had, and here, I'll pull it up in the pro section for BTCC here, you guys. On that Solana trade that we had here with the 5K profit, I mean, this was a 2-month open, right? And the funny part is if I would have put this take profit down, oh, it was SUI, that's why. Okay, sorry, boys. It was SUI, right? We entered SUI at 370 and we exited at 282. Here's the thing, though. That crash that happened that day, right? So we exited at 282 and look at the price today. It's at 262. So even if I would have just left it open, it would have been a lot bigger profit. And on a real note, let's do the 30-minute. Let's look at what happened, right? We genuinely had the biggest drop here. Let's do the 1 hour. You guys, if we would have closed it down here, this would have probably been a 50K trade, right? It was a 50K trade. We were at 20x leverage and we had used, I think, about $1,000 for the margin. And we made 5x, yeah. And how you're gonna be able to calculate that quickly is the realized P&L comes off the margin that you're using for the trade. So if the margin was, or if the realized P&L is 528%, you're just gonna divide that, right? So 5,684 with the 528%, it would have been about $900 in my margin position. And this ended up closing at, where we at? See, I just love drawing the lines and then doing this and taking the number that I want and putting it up there because it just makes it simpler and I'll put it right where you need it on the chart. So that's actually where the trade had closed. But if I would have closed it that night and I missed it, not mad about it, never going to be sad about it. That is literally another 82% gain from where we're at. This easily would have been a $50,000 to $60,000 trade. And I don't know the exact math. You guys can do it if you'd like. but that is an insane number to see and extremely crazy to completely understand that, like, this is how you can make big money in a position. Now, also one more thing to think about, if you guys can see here, the funding fee is $400. So not only did we pay the trading fee, but we also paid the funding fee to keep the trade open that long, which is also why I truly like day trading the market, right? I like being in here, finding a good short. Like today, we would have been able to short BTC here, and it would have been a good 0.65%. XRP is my baby to trade because it has a lot more volatility, and same thing with Doge. They're a little bit easier to trade volatility-wise, and they follow Bitcoin, right? So like that drop from XRP here was about 8% in 15 hours. And if you can make 1% a day in the market, I like to say you can keep a real job away, because 1% even on a $100 margin with the 500X, you're looking at $500 in profit. So if you can make 1% a day with a $100 margin and only risk $100 to $200, or even shoot for 2% to make, which would be $1,000, and then you could risk about $500. That is still a 2-to-1 R&R ratio, and that's really good when you're looking at the market and trading it, because that's consistent profits over the long run, specifically if you maximize on your scalps every day. And you guys, the market moves all day, every day. Like look, from yesterday, if that position had not stopped out, we would have been up literally 4% minimum for right now. Let's just assume we even close it right now on the channel, on this video live. We'd be at 3.4%. Let's just do 3.5, easier for the math. Or heck, we could even do 3%. And if the margin was $100, this would have been a $1,500 trade, because every 1% for a $100 margin at a 500x leverage is $500, right? So 1% is 500, then 2% makes it 1,000, then 3% would make it 1,500. And if we want to add that 0.4 in, that is just another $200, because each 0.2% is 100. It's basically the full margin number. So another 0.4 would make it $1,700 in profit within a day. And you guys, if we're always taking these little losses, right, of 200, right? Because look, even the previous day when we had a couple of losses, they were all under 250. So if you want to think about it that way, and you made $1,500 on a trade, now you have 250 times 6. So you can take 6 losses before you need to make another gain, before you lose what you had originally made on that single trade. And that's the best way to really think about trading and risk management when you're looking at the market. Now, I know you guys are wondering, what is my play for the rest of the day? And it's really simple, right? So I don't really like to use the EMAs much, specifically when I'm day trading, just because they bounce so quickly. Now, they are great depending on your strategy. I just don't use them in mine. But what I'm gonna do with XRP here is I'm going to wait a little bit to see if this makes it back down here into support. And if I can get this move down to here, then I'm looking to buy right here and shoot for a shoot up down to there, right? And if I can get at least 1, 2, or maybe even 3%, that's a great way to end the day. Heck, if I can shoot for a 7% gain, that's massive profits with this type of strategy. And of course, like even if I were to take a buy now, I would definitely do the stop loss here. The only negative, and the reason I wouldn't take the buy now, is I don't have enough confirmation letting me know that the market is reversing to the upside. On top of that, you guys, you always want to check Bitcoin, and we can see that Bitcoin is right now still crashing a little bit, like not hard, but it is on a downward shift. Now, one thing though to notice is we do have this trend line building up, right? But then on the same way, we have this, and what they call this is a ascending triangle. Usually when it's from the down to the up. So let me re-say this. Whenever we're going down like this and make this triangle, usually it's to go back down. The one catch is we had this giant manipulation day when Trump launched the whole 100% tariffs on China, which completely screws over my thinking on this trade. And instead, what I want to do is wait for this triangle pattern to actually form and show me which way it breaks out. If it breaks down here, I'm going to go in for a short, and I'm going to chase just 1 to 2%. So not that much. If it does it above here and we break and we get a little retest, I'll go in for a long, and I'll shoot for anywhere to the top up here, because this to me is still the resistance point that XRP has not been able to beat yet, or BTC in this example. And if you actually look at the XRP XRP chart, it's making pretty much the exact same breakdown, right? Look, we've got 2 lower highs, and then here we actually have higher lows, right? So it's doing the exact same pattern as BTC, but but we just don't know which side it's going to break out on, and we don't want to guess. If you want to take a guess, you totally can, but just understand that is the risky part of trading. When you take these random guesses and don't let the market play out for you. I made these mistakes a lot. I really don't want you to make the same exact mistake. And one more thing, if this video is helping you guys, make sure you click that subscribe button. Maybe give me a comment. Tell me how you're trading. Ask questions. I want to make it as easy for you, and I want you to remove the years of pain that I had to do because I didn't have somebody slowly teaching it to me like this. So I'm really hoping this channel helps you guys as well. And realistically, it's keeping me accountable to make sure I do all of my market checks every day as much as I can. And the best way to be able to day trade is to keep the charts up, right? I'm traveling a little bit, but the minute I'm sitting at that desk, the charts are always up. I consistently have alerts set up on my trading view that shows me where things are moving, and I still do use those indicators to kind of give me an idea of where the reversal could be or where the bounce could end up occurring. So right now, the best play out we're going to have is we're going to wait on this, and we're going to see if we're going to get a breakdown or we're going to get a breakup. If we get a breakdown, we're going to short it. And that short, we're only really going to chase for 1 to 2%, like I said. So let's assume it enters here. This is a whole 12, 13% down to the bottom. So let's not assume that. But what we can do is bring it down to a lower time frame, right? And what we're going to see here is where did we get a bounce in that chart, right? So here we had a little bit of liquidity sitting. So realistically, if we're looking for that short, I'm going to shoot for the $1.80 mark. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to trail my stop loss. I will set a take profit as low as I can because you never know, right? We might get a God candle like that again, and you just walk away with grips of profit. I should have done that on SUI, but I did not do that on SUI. I just had it open because it was a longer trade, but I did have a stop loss. Remember, number one rule in trading, always have a stop loss. And if you don't have a stop loss, don't use leverage, just purchase at spot. Because if you don't do that, you're risking your account every time. And the worst thing that's ever happened to me is when I blew up my account. I've done that about 3 times in the past 8 years. In the past 2 years and a half, since I've actually learned risk management, I have not blown up an account. And I'm very, very proud to say that. And I'm extremely profitable just by being consistent. And I know you guys can do the same thing. So please don't hate on yourself when you're trying to learn this. Just be patient and give yourself time to actually play within the market. All right. I hope this video helped you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Just do me a favor, click that subscribe button if it did help. Do comment, let me know. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you in the next video.